Last time we defined the general form for a circle. We said the general form was an equation that looked like this, where we have an x squared and a y squared term with the coefficient being a 1 in front of both of them. We have an a times x, a b times y, and a number c, where a, b, and c are real numbers. Now, the reason we're looking at the general form for a circle is because sometimes the standard form, when we have a circle, we're not given the standard form. We're given something like this, and we have to be able to recognize it as a circle. So we see this equation, we say, oh, that's a circle. We have this x squared, this y squared terms, and these ax, by's, and this c. So let's look at some examples. Let's find the general form of this circle. Here you can see that for this circle, our center is 3, -4, and it has a radius of 7. We would know how to graph this. But let's take this and write it in this form. So what I'm going to do is in blue, I'm going to FOIL this piece. X minus 3 squared is x minus 3 times x minus 3. So when we FOIL this, we multiply the first one with the first one here, so we get an x squared, and x times a -3, which is a minus 3x. Then we have a minus 3 times x, and a plus 9. And we can clean that up as x squared minus 6x plus 9. Now in green, let's multiply y plus 4 times y plus 4. We'll get y squared plus 4y plus 4y plus 16. If we clean that up, this is y squared plus 8y plus 16. And now what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to substitute x squared minus 6x plus 9. And right here, I'm going to substitute this y squared plus 8y plus 16. And then I'm also going to square the 7 and make it 49. So let's do that. So now we have x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus y squared plus 8y plus 16 is equal to 49. Let's combine this 9 and this 16. So x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus 8y. 9 plus 16 is 25. We can put that in the calculator to double check. 9 plus 16. And now what I want to do is I want to take this 49 and move it to the other side, which means I subtract 49 from both sides. So subtract 49 from that, and you get 24. So this is going to equal x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus 8y. We said minus 24. Yep. And then that is equal to 0. And this is the general form of that circle. Of course, you can't look at this and say, oh, the center is 3, -4, and the radius is 7. There's no way to tell that from this equation. You have to actually have it in standard form to see that. So now we're going to do the opposite of what we just did, which was I'm going to give you an equation of a circle in general form, and I want to get it back to standard form. That way, if I asked you something like, oh, here's an equation for a circle, can you tell me the center, the radius, and graph it? You will be able to do that. So that's the second problem. Let's find the standard form of this circle. X squared minus 2x plus y squared minus 4y plus 1 is 0. First, we have to make sure it's a circle, so we have to make sure that this is the general form of a circle, and it is. Now let's try to get this into standard form. So remember what standard form is. Standard form is x minus a number squared plus y minus a number squared is equal to the radius squared. So we've got a lot of steps we need to do. What we're going to do to figure this out is a process called completing the square. I'm going to show you how to complete the square, And why it's called completing the square is because you want to get this parentheses, you see this? It's being squared. So you're trying to get it in this form. And the same thing with this parentheses here. You want to get x minus a number squared and y minus a number squared. What we're going to do is we're going to take this general form, and the first thing is you're going to move this number to the other side. Okay, let's do that. So we have x squared minus 2x, and now I'm going to put a plus and a big blank here. Then plus y squared minus 4y, a plus and a big blank, and like I said, move that 1 to the other side. So again, I moved this 1 over, which made it a -1 instead of a 0. And now I'm separating what's left. What you would have left is this x squared minus 2x and this y squared minus 4y, because this is now on the other side. And now I'm adding a plus and a blank and a plus and a blank. You see how I did that? Because I want to put a number here, and I want to put a number here. And the number that I'm going to put here it depends on this number right here. So I'm going to take this number, which is -2. I'm going to divide it by 2, and then I'm going to square it. Okay? I'm going to put that number over here as well. So -2 divided by 2 and square it. So I'm adding these numbers to the left-hand side of the equation. Oh, sorry. Before I do that, what I meant to say was I take this one, -4, divide it by 2 and square it. We don't want to add the same thing. We're taking what's in front of this y. So let me repeat that. I take what's in front of the x, take it, divide it by 2, and I square it. Here I'm going to take what's in front of the y, which is a -4. I'm going to divide it by 2, and I'm going to square it. And that's what's going to go on this side. Now whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side. So I'm going to add both of these numbers to the other side. So I'm going to say plus this -2 over 2 squared and plus -4 over 2 squared. Because remember, whatever you do to one side of the equation, you always have to do to the other to keep the same equation. And so I'm adding 2 numbers here, and I'm going to add them here as well. Right. The next piece is I'm going to write this as x squared minus 2x. Let's simplify what's inside here. This is plus a -1 squared. Then y squared minus 4y plus a -2 squared. That is going to equal -1 plus a -1 squared, and then this is a plus a -2 squared. Let me make it a little smaller so we can see it all together. Okay. Now, I'm actually going to add these numbers on this side. Okay, so I'm going to square them and add everything over here. But on this side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an x, and I'm going to take this number inside the parentheses, and I'm going to write x minus 1. I have an x here, and I'm adding this -1, which is the same thing as x minus 1. And then I'm going to put a square here. So this number right here is the key. Then plus, take a y, and I'm going to take this number right here and put it here, squared. That is going to equal -1 plus -1 squared plus -2 squared. So let's simplify this side over here. This left-hand side is exactly what we want. We have an x minus 1 squared, a y minus 2 squared, and on this side we're going to have a -1 plus 1 plus 4. Okay, so we're going to get x minus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to, that's 5 minus 1, which is 4. Or you can cross these out and you just get a 4. And now we found the standard form for our circle. From here you can tell me that the center is 1, 2, and the radius is 2. In fact, you can, instead of writing 4 here, even though it is 4, you can say 2 squared, because 2 squared is 4, and that is the number right here is the radius. Okay, let's try another one, just so we know that we can make sure that we understand how to complete the square. So let's find the standard form of this circle. We're also going to write out what the radius and the center are for the circle. Okay, so let's move this 12 to the other side. That's step 1. So we get x squared minus 6x. And then after this x, I'm going to put a plus and a blank. Then y squared minus 4y, plus and a blank, and then we have a negative 12 here. Okay, now we take this number, this negative 6, and we divide it by 2 and square that. Then here, I'm going to take this negative 4, I'm going to divide it by 2, and I'm going to square it. And then I'm also going to add it to this side. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so let's add it to this side. We have negative 6 over 2 squared, and we have a negative 4 over 2 squared. So this becomes x squared minus 6x. Let's simplify this inside. That is a negative 3 squared plus y squared minus 4y plus negative 2 squared is equal to negative 12 plus negative 3 squared plus negative 2 squared. Again, we're going to simplify this side. So we're going to square these numbers and add all of these numbers together. But on this side, I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to say that this is the same thing as x plus this number here, which is negative 3, the number in the parentheses, squared. In fact, you can FOIL this out, and you'll see that you actually get x squared minus 6x plus 9. Okay, on this side, we're going to get a y, and then this number here, which is negative 2 squared. On this side, I have a negative 12 plus 9 plus 4. Okay, and so we're left with x minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared. This is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So add that together, you get 1. So this is the standard form. X minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 1 squared. Okay, let's do one more problem. I want to find the standard form of this circle. X squared plus y squared plus 10y plus 24 is 0. First, let me ask you something. Is this the general form of a circle? Well, the answer is yes. It seems to be missing an x term, but remember, we can always write for 0, 0 times x. So in other words, we can rewrite this as x squared plus 0x, because this is just 0, plus y squared plus 10y plus 24 is equal to 0. And this is the general form of a circle. So now let's put it into standard form. So again, to complete the square, first thing we do is we move the 24 to the other side. Let's do that. And then we're going to put some big blanks right here because we need to add some numbers. So this is negative 24. Okay, so what I'm going to add here is I'm going to take this number 0, divide it by 2, and square it. Then I'm going to add here, I'm going to take this number 10, divide it by 2, and square it. And I'm also going to add both of those numbers to the right-hand side of this equation. So plus 0 over 2 squared plus 10 over 2 squared. So let's simplify this side. This is x plus 0, because 0 divided by 2 is 0, squared, plus, on this side, y plus 5, because 10 over 2 is 5, squared, is equal to negative 24 plus 0 plus 5 squared. So I get x plus 0 squared plus y plus 5 squared is equal to negative 24 plus 25. Okay, x plus 0 is the same thing as x, so we can just say this is x squared plus y plus 5 squared is equal to 1. And 1 squared is 1, so I can put a square here. And now we have it in standard form. Can you tell me the center of this circle and its radius? Yes, you should be able to do that. You can see that the radius, r, is equal to 1. And the center, well, we can look back at this line here to see the center. You can see that 0 is the x coordinate. And remember, it's always the opposite of this guy here. Because remember, it was y minus k, and here I have a y plus 5. So it should be a y minus a negative 5 in order to get that. So it's 0, negative 5.